Okay, here's the plan. You are going to spread the good news about Jesus to 7 different cities. This is how we're going to do it. You go to city number 1, you tell them about Jesus, you start a church. Then you go to city number 2, you tell them about Jesus, start another church, and then go to city number 3, and so on and so forth. Pretty soon, you will reach all 7 cities. You got that? Okay, ready, set, go. Okay, wait, I thought of something. After you leave city number 7, you'll probably want to go back to city number 1. You know, check and make sure everything's going okay. Let's review. A, start 7 churches in 7 cities. B, revisit those 7 cities 2 or 3 times. That is such a good idea. It's almost like you're going in a big circle, or what we like to call a circuit. But you know, I wonder what the best way to travel would be.
No, that's not it. No, not quite right. Not what I'm looking for.
I'm thinking something a little bit more horsey. Stay tuned, because we are going to take a ride in Kentucky and take a look in the book of Revelation while we're there. I'm Joel Everest, and this is Explore the Bible on Location.
When America was a young nation, people were sent out as preachers to form new churches in frontier lands. They left the comfort of their homes to ride a circuit, a circular route, from small town to small town, traveling thousands of miles on horseback. These traveling preachers were called circuit riders.
The circuit riders were strong and courageous, and they were willing to go anywhere on great adventures with God. Their mission? To carry the message of Jesus into places filled with rough and tough people, many of whom may have never heard the truth about Jesus. They stopped and preached at places like this, the Mill Creek Church in Kentucky, otherwise known as the Old Moltke Meeting House. It was built in 1804 during a time of religious revival in the South.
Its first preacher, John Moltke, served here for more than 53 years. He was a circuit rider. The circuit riders accomplished their mission, and as a result, churches grew up all over the frontier. The good news of Jesus spread, and it changed America.
That's kind of like what happened in the ancient world after Jesus ascended into heaven. The good news about Jesus was spreading like wildfire all across the Roman Empire. And brave and strong and courageous Christians would travel all over the land. They too were willing to go anywhere on great adventures with God.
Eventually, believers found themselves in trouble with the empire that ruled the world. Christians were persecuted for telling others about Jesus, but that didn't stop the gospel. In fact, God brought a vision and message to the Apostle John while he was on the island of Patmos.
God's message is recorded in the book of Revelation, the last book in the Bible. And the opening chapters are written to 7 churches that existed along Roman roads.
Ephesus, Smyrna, Pergamum, Thyatira, Sardis, Philadelphia, and Laodicea. Now, these churches were not housed in big church buildings like we have today. John's messages were sent to all the Christians living in each city who gathered together wherever they could to worship.
John writes in an order that actually forms something like a circle, almost as if he intended the person writing to the churches to deliver the message like, well, a circuit rider.
Each of the 7 churches had its own unique personality and cool things about them. Like the church at Ephesus, they were strong and influential. They were making a big difference in an important city. The church at Smyrna was poor in money, but rich in the love of God.
They were Christians who were trying to follow Jesus, but they weren't perfect, if you know what I mean. Okay, what I mean is this. When the early churches got started, they were doing great. But as time went on, some began to stray from the way that Jesus taught, and they had some real problems following God.
Unfortunately, we face many of the same kind of problems today. Some had lost their love for God. Others, like Pergamum, were mixing in wrong information with the truth of Jesus. God had a specific message for each church. He encouraged them, and He also corrected them, but God did not give up on them.
Strong and courageous Christians in the early church would travel the land telling people about Jesus. In the book of Revelation, John reminded them to listen to the Holy Spirit and to live the truth. So you know what? The message that came to the 7 churches is the same message that came to Mill Creek Church, and it's the same message we're hearing today. It's the good news about Jesus. The book of Revelation teaches us to listen to God. It teaches us that His love can change us and that He will never, ever give up on us. And that's the truth we discover when we explore the Bible. So until next time, let's go share the good news. I'm Joel Everest, and this is Explore the Bible on Location.